We have finally made it to Saturday, and it's time for some Conference USA basketball from historic EA Diddle Arena as the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers play host to the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. Good afternoon, everybody. Matthew Hargrove here, sitting alongside my broadcasting partner, Jay Walton. We have been listening to a ton of Christmas music already. It's time to listen to some hoops, and it should be a phenomenal matchup. Two really fun teams to watch and a lot of winning streaks on the line.
Yeah, both teams playing very well coming into today's game. Kentucky Wesleyan could easily be 10-0 on the season, if not for a couple of early season losses. West Kentucky looking to finish off this homestand with another win today as well.
And the Panthers are led by Logan McIntyre. He has been on an absolute tear as of late.
Well, you look at his numbers through 10 games, 57% behind the arc. He's one of the best shooters in college basketball on any level. Big part of what they do offensively for sure.
And then it's going to be really tough for Kentucky Wesleyan defensively to stop Don McHenry. And you talk about a tear. He has been over 25 points in each of his last two games. He's been just absolutely unstoppable.
Their last game at home versus Seattle went on a run, a 12-0 run by himself in the second half to really stretch that game apart, and was deep in his bag, scoring at all three levels, and certainly will be the key to West Kentucky's offense today.
Now, even though Kentucky Wesleyan is a Division II school, and then obviously Western Kentucky is at the D1 level, these two teams have played a lot throughout their history, and there's been some competitive play there, even if they are exhibition games, some of them.
I think two similar programs. You have two fan bases that love their programs and are very knowledgeable and bring a lot to those communities. So a lot of pride, tradition on both sides today.
Tyrone Marshall and Hoyek is ready to tip off at center court. Should be a fun one. Like we mentioned in the opening, winning streaks are on the line here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hilltoppers in the white, Kentucky Wesleyan in the purple. Let's get going. Saturday hoops, and Kentucky Wesleyan off with possession, moving from right to left. Kennedy Miles will be running the point. He's alongside Quentin Tolles, but this is a very experienced team, and they just have a great coaching staff that's going to be really tough for Western. Quick three pull, and that's from Kennedy Miles.
Miles with a tough shot right out of the gate. A great opening possession for the Panthers. Want to get quality looks every time down the floor when you're in a hostile environment on the road against a really talented opponent, and they were able to do that on the first possession.
Thought about maybe a goaltending, but an impressive block by the Panthers there. Came from Edward Jones Jr. He has a baseline in the corner. Move towards the paint. Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you that, and what is it going to take for Kentucky Wesleyan? Obviously, this would be a massive upset, but obviously, like you said, it has to start with having good shots, and a nasty three from the left wing.
McIntyre's always ready to shoot. Gets his shots a lot of different ways, but that time just let the offense flow and come off a down screen, ready to pull the trigger.
Wide open three, top of the key. Offensive rebound. Into the body, floater, and a foul. Braxton Bayless, who is coming off a really nice performance against Seattle, 13 points, 8 rebounds, is headed to the charity stripe.
Yeah, a big part of their win the other night, and Coach Plona loves what he brings. He says he's a guy that you really have to have on the floor late in the game because there's so many different plays that he will make. It may be a bucket, maybe finding a teammate for an open shot, it may be a key defensive play, but he's just too valuable not to have on the floor as a closer.
Well, spent some time with the head coach during his years at Indiana Hills Community College. Handful of players on this Western Kentucky roster is coming from that community college. 1 for 2 at the line, still a really good start for Kentucky Wesleyan. It's all about keeping that energy, you have to imagine, as well.
Yeah, and they're going to create a little bit of pace here with a three-quarter court press. Panthers able to handle.
Wild layup try, battle for the rebound. Hoyek has it to the top of the key. Kennedy Miles. Coming off the screen is McIntyre, one of the best scorers for this Panthers squad. Shot clock violation, great defense by the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, big time stop right there. The Panthers will be very patient in their half-court offense, and they usually will wait until they get the shot that they want. Sometimes that's deep into the clock, and that time just a little bit too much time before they could find a good look.
And Kentucky Wesleyan not backing off. They had the full court press. It was a light one, but they go back into what looks like a zone. Top of the key three, off to the right. McIntyre has the board. Up ahead, taken away by Tyrone Marshall. Center court, Euro step floater, counted in one. What a move by Don McHenry, who is without a doubt the star of this Hilltoppers team.
Well, he can score in a lot of different ways, and his favorite way is just what you saw in that last possession. Just get the outlet pass, head down up the floor, looking to create, get in the paint. If nobody stops him, he's able to pull up for the little floater, as you just saw, earning a trip to the line for a three-point play.
And Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is just something smooth. It looks a little bit better when it comes off the lefty hand. When it just
I always think that, yeah, he's an unorthodox finisher, and especially going left, he's really tough to stop. I agree with you.
Yeah, it just looks so pretty. He is the most recent Conference USA Player of the Week. Miles, oh, how about the head fake off the glass, too strong, and it's pulled in by Colombeg. Over to McHenry, he stops on a dime. Line drive three, but he's fouled. Bad foul by Kentucky Wesleyan, sends McHenry back to the free throw line.
Yeah, he certainly would have been okay with them taking that three in transition, and just a bailout foul there by Jones, and yeah, not what you want there.
That's when you know that you are feeling good, is when you're in transition and you have numbers, you have the confidence to step behind the three-point line and try that kind of shot. But that's how Don McHenry has been playing, 29 against Murray State, and then last game against Seattle, he had over 25 in that one with 28.
Yeah, I think Coach Plona would tell you that that's maybe not his favorite shot, and you don't want a ton of those right there, but you take the bad with the good sometimes when you want to play at this pace, and I think he thinks the bad is far outweighed by the positive benefits of them pushing early.
That really is just a massive part of the game now. You see a lot of teams, college basketball, NBA, even probably down to the high school level, in transition. There's a lot of players that are comfortable with pulling up with threes or going to the corner for those three-point tries.
There's a lot more quality shooters, I think, on the floor at all times in the game today.
Hoyek over to Tolles. Looking for a cutter, doesn't get it. Step back three, high arcing splash. Massive shot by Quinton Tolles, and Kentucky Wesleyan still with a really nice start, 9-7 over the Hilltoppers. Marshall in the corner. Kicks it out. Three tries, book it. Braxton Bayless gives the Hilltoppers a 10-9 lead. This is their first lead of the afternoon. Alex Gregg, first time that he has seen the floor right now. Hand off to Edward Jones Jr. They work it far side near the Hilltoppers bench. Jones Jr. in the corner. 8 on the shot clock. Hayek, spin move on Marshall. No look pass is taken away. Here comes McHenry all the way to the cup, can't finish.
That rare miss for him. He really was able to get too deep in the paint there. Kentucky Wesleyan going to have to get back, stop the ball, and get Don McHenry out of the lane.
Well, in the early going, Don McHenry not bashful, which he shouldn't be when you can score the basketball like him and an easy layup. Hayek, the big center for the Panthers, able to give him back the lead, 11-10. McHenry slows down the pace, just underway from EA Diddle Arena. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Braxton Bayless, my goodness, a lot of strength, and that is difficult to do.
Yeah, it's a good little double high ball screen, and design was to throw back to Bayless with him driving that seam, and he was able to get all the way to the basket for the finish.
Jay, you have to love the pace of this game right now.
Yeah, and I think this is the way that Kentucky Wesleyan, they would prefer a little bit slower. I think this is the way that Western would like to get up and down.
Hayek puts his defender in the spin cycle, finishes with the left hand, 13-12, back and forth we go. Kentucky Wesleyan trying to pull off a massive upset and keep their winning streak alive. McHenry off the glass and in. Don McHenry still with a really strong start to this game, feeling confident. Tolles far side. McIntyre pulls for three. He already has one this afternoon, short on the second try. On the deck, hands it off to Marshall Jr. 4 on 5. Marshall Jr. doesn't care. Right to the basket. Unable to finish with the floater.
Tyrone Marshall had that look in his eye like he wanted to take it all the way and not able to get the finish, but I like how aggressive he is.
Well, especially when you were still waiting for Don McHenry to come all the way back, and 4 on 5, you didn't even have the numbers, and you still go 1 on 1. Kentucky Wesleyan able to answer back on the other side. Here's Bayless, gets a double screen. Back to Marshall, fires from 3, too strong, rebounded by McHenry. Pull up at the free throw line, catches it in. Man, it is so sweet from number 2.
Yeah, long shots sometimes mean long rebounds, and nobody for the Panthers is able to box out Don McHenry.
Inside, my goodness! The lob to Edwards Jr.
Kentucky Wesleyan get caught staring a little bit at the ball, went to sleep, and Jones Jr., excellent cut and a beautiful lob feed from Gray.
Edward Jones Jr. letting everybody know that the Panthers are not fooling around today. 17-16. Tolles. Up top to Hayek. McIntyre behind the back. Spins. 10 on the shot clock. ISO on the baseline. Big on big. Hayek finishes again with that left hand, and a timeout taken by the Hilltoppers.
Impressive post move, nice footwork and patience by Hayek on the baseline, and off to a great start for the big man.
Masterful start. We'll be right back from EA Diddle Arena. Well, so far we have a really intriguing matchup to start this first half between Kentucky Wesleyan and Western Kentucky, 19-16. But Jay, the Panthers look really confident, and a lot of it has to do with their center and Hayek.
Yeah, they came in here today to win, not just to show up, and off to a great start. Nothing, all cylinders clicking offensively, and the big guy inside, Fada Hayek, 4 for 4 from the floor, and showing his ability to score around the basket, and just a great move on that last possession with the footwork, and the patience, and the shot fake and finish.
Well, without a doubt, we could tell that they were ready to play on that lob to Edwards Jones Jr. That was a man's jam right there.
And again, the Hilltoppers just sleeping just a little bit on that particular play, and definitely need to make sure they're aware at all times defensively.
Well, Adlin misses badly on the 3 try, able to keep us hustle up, get the offensive rebound, and put it in. That's got to be one of the worst feelings, is when you get that corner 3 and it's off the side of the backboard. But if you're able to get the offensive rebound and put it back in, that wiped that bad memory away.
Nobody knew where it was going better than he did.
You do make a great point. That is very true. He's able to immediately tell, and you know what? They need to count that as an assist is what needs to happen.
I'm sure he would like that if he got the double.
Kavion Mitchell, first time that he has checked into the game at the free throw line. Makes the first one. This Kentucky Wesleyan team is coached by Drew Cooper. He was actually the 2024 Great Midwest Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. It's been about 500 records every year for Kentucky Wesleyan since he took over the program in 2019. But last year was by far his best season. They went 21-9. That included an exhibition win against the team a couple of hours north of here in the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah, just a great season and off to another great start. I know they have high expectations for what they can do in their league, and that's what happens when you got a talented team that brings a lot of experience back as well.
Jalen Jackson slithers inside, pitches it out to the corner, and a 3 is made. Julius Thedford, one of the best freshmen in Conference USA, ties it up at 21.
He's coming off a great game the other night against Seattle, out of a breakout offensive performance. Struggled a little bit from the free throw line, but was able to score in some other ways and provide some punch. And nice to see his first look go down.
It was Thedford's first career start, and he made the most of it. 15 points in that matchup. Step back 3, it's Tolles. All around the rim and out. Fumble on the deck. Who has it? And a timeout called by Kentucky Wesleyan. Hank Plona doesn't like the call. He thought it was a jump ball before they got the timeout in.
Well, right now the Panthers just out-hustled the Hilltoppers on that play, and West Kentucky needs to pick up the pace just a little bit.
Almost halfway through. Tied up at 21 between the Panthers and the Hilltoppers. All tied up at 21 between Western Kentucky and Kentucky Wesleyan. And what's so fun about this matchup as well is we have two great coaching staffs. Drew Cooper just got done talking about him, praising him a little bit before the last break, head coach for the Panthers, but he's done a lot of great things for this program.
He sure has, and again, he likes his team this year because they bring a lot of experience back, got very balanced scoring, and they've been on this stage before, so they're coming here today ready to go.
And then obviously Hank Plona for the Hilltoppers, first season, and they look really good. You know, a slow start. They go 0-2 to begin the season, but ever since then they have been pretty dominant.
Well, he had the luxury of being here before as an assistant coach, and so that transition, taking over as head coach, was really smooth for him. And can't say enough about his winning percentage on the junior college level and strong history there. And he's a ball coach.
Kavion Mitchell knocks down the three, so the Panthers are back up by 3. Thetford rolls it in. Couple of threes in the first half now for the freshman.
Yeah, he can go in bursts and off to a hot start.
That's what you have to imagine makes this Hilltoppers team so dangerous, especially when they get to conference play, is they have guys like Thetford, depending on if he starts or not, that can come off the bench and score with ease.
Well, Hilltoppers got a couple injuries that they're dealing with, and one of their wing players, the best shooters, Christian Lander's out. Their best inside player, Babacar Faye, is on the bench. And so that's just an opportunity for guys like Thetford, who are getting extended minutes now, to produce a little bit more and show what they can do.
Yeah, the injuries, and everybody might be coming back at the perfect time because they have a really long break after this game with the Panthers, and then they go into their final non-conference game of the season as WKU ends up with a steal. Thetford lost it. He thought about a three. Sizes up the defender, mid-range, Hezzy is perfect.
He's feeling it right now, a couple deep threes, and then he's also great off the pull-up in the mid-range and shows you that on that possession.
Mitchell tees up another three, and the Panthers, every time the Hilltoppers come and get a major bucket and you think they have some momentum, the Panthers are able to answer back pretty quickly.
Yeah, just a step slow on the rotation on that last defensive possession for Western Kentucky.
Thetford again, in and out.
Had to. It was a heat check and a pretty good look considering how hot he started.
He is going to be a special player to have that kind of confidence, that kind of shot at just such a young age. Far side to Tolles. And he did not know what he wanted to do there.
Yeah, just a unconventional turnover. Rare for Tolles. Just unforced.
Didn't know if he wanted to go right or take the screen, and just constantly that back and forth caused him to lose the basketball. Here comes Jalen Jackson. Has the Christmas themed shoes on. Green on the right, pink on the left, and a throwdown.
No help side defense there for the Panthers, and an easy flush for ODI. Good post feed on the baseline as well.
Yeah, ODI, that was a monster jam, and we continue to have a close game. 9:32 remaining in the first half. Knocked away from McIntyre, but it's out of bounds on the Hilltoppers.
Well, the Hilltoppers know that he is their best scorer, and so far have really defended him well. Getting clean looks for Logan McIntyre has been really tough so far. He's going to have to work hard, coming off screens, moving without the basketball, as he does on this out-of-bounds play. Quick trigger, knocks it down. Great job.
McIntyre heard you talking, Jay, and said, I do not care. I'm going to sink down this three from the out-of-bounds play. 30-28, Jackson at the elbow. It's off to the left. Bayless tracks it down, and the Hilltoppers get another possession. Udiayi. Good looking floater there.
Yeah.
And a couple of buckets from the center.
High ball screen and roll, and gave himself a little bit of space from the basket. A strong elevation on the right-hand finish.
Alex Gray baseline. Backing down Bayless. Beautiful bounce pass and the dunk. Oh, actually, they don't count the bucket. Basket interference. Because it was not a clean dunk from Terrence Ringo Jr. again.
I felt like the only reason Ringo stayed hanging on the rim is because he, the defender was right underneath him and he was just giving himself before he. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that call. I thought that was a great play by Ringo, strong finish, and just. But by rule, I guess you can't hang on the rim while the ball's in the cylinder. So I see why they made the call.
It's a
tough break.
It's a very tough call, and you can see why Drew Cooper would be frustrated. If this was Olympic basketball, I'm pretty sure that would count.
I think that's right.
Jackson bounce pass. Up top, Colombe, he's been quiet. Bayless penetrates, spins, motions way off of the floater. Rebounded by Kennedy Miles. Miles in traffic, ball on the floor, diving on the floor. Who's got it? Bayless strips it away. Instead, it's a jump ball. Possession arrow pointing right, so the Hilltoppers have the ball back.
Great hustle from both sides, and team's starting to pick it up a little bit. This crowd's starting to sense that, hey, we're in a dogfight here, and we need some separation if we can get it. So we'll see what the Hilltoppers come in the half-court set on this possession.
These teams have had very similar seasons. A travel on Jalen Jackson. These two teams have had very similar seasons. We mentioned how Western Kentucky lost their first 2 games of the year, and then they've been on a roll ever since. But for Kentucky Wesleyan, they started the year 0-2 and have won 8 straight. They're coming off a massive win against East-West.
I think one of those was an overtime game and the other one a 1 possession. So they're on the verge of 10-0 to start this basketball season.
Yeah, this is going to end up being probably, when we get into March, it'll go down as one of the best teams at the Division II level.
In the corner. Be in the hunt for their league championship and a chance to play in March. You're right, in the postseason.
Here comes Jackson. Pretty move to the corner. Braxton Bayless drains the 3. Hilltoppers up 33-30, 7.5 remaining in the first half. Here comes the trap. Kennedy Miles goes and gets the basketball. Looking for a screen. Hayek sets it. Tries the pick and roll right to Hayek. That has been beautiful for the Panthers offense.
It's a great setup by Miles, and once the help come over, he froze him a little bit with a pass fake and a nice delivery.
Now Bayless, the Euro, he lost it out of bounds. Hayek doesn't agree. What a game so far. We're almost through the first half, still 6:55 remaining. Hilltoppers up by 1, and the Panthers will be right back from EA Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky. But T. Hayek has been unstoppable at the center spot for Kentucky Wesleyan, and just got a bucket recently before a timeout was called. Hilltoppers still have a 1-point lead, but Kentucky Wesleyan has been able to rely on him inside the paint.
Yeah, they play a lot of their offense through him. He does a lot of screening, a lot of in the middle of the floor up at the top of the key, and then you saw the high pick and roll there, and the nice roll, always hands ready to catch and finish, and an excellent drop-off pass there in traffic by Miles.
Well, Jay, you have to think that the Panthers' goal was, at least at halftime, to make it a game or be in this one, and usually you think under 10 minutes.
We were just getting an explanation on one of the plays from the first half, the goaltending call, where I disagreed and said he should have been able to hang on the rim. They're going to overturn that. Good basket because he was just hanging on the rim to protect himself. So good for him. Good finish. He deserved the 2 points from that. So.
Well, really nice by the referee crew to go back and make sure that they got the call right. So things change a little bit. Panthers now have the lead at 34-33. And you definitely are, I wouldn't say excited about the call, but you definitely agree with it, because after it just seemed like Ringo Jr. should have had the points. And that three, but the lead was almost taken away quickly as Thedford almost had the tray ball. Miles up top. Near side to Alex Gray. Now Hayek looks inside, has Gray, pump fake, steps in the corner. Hayek once again has the mismatch with the freshman. All by himself, kicks it out in the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Gray for 3, got it.
Big time possession there in the half court by the Panthers. Just so much patience and ball movement. And Gray able to step up and hit the shot as we talked about earlier. A lot of times they will score deep in the shot clock like they did on that possession.
Well, this is how the Panthers have been able to be so good today, is not even McIntyre, their top scorer, is being a top scorer as Thedford has another 3 in this first half. He's already up to 3 in the game, but McIntyre's been quiet, but they've had notable performances from a lot of other people on this roster.
Yeah, they got plenty of guys that can score, and 4 for almost 5 guys in double figures.
Miles inside, up in the air, taken away by the Hilltoppers.
He's looking for Hayek on the pick and roll again. That time got hung up a little bit, not able to deliver.
Kalambe knocks down the 3 in the corner. A 6-0 swing for WKU on back-to-back 3s, on back-to-back possessions. Miles, oh, beautiful drop off, but Hayek wasn't ready for it. Bayless full speed ahead. Maybe a little too fast, ball on the floor. McHenry pulls it away. And a foul is called on the Panthers.
A lot going on in transition on that possession, both ways.
That was chaos. Bayless was sprinting, McHenry was there. That is a lot of speed moving to the basket. The 3-point shooting has been on display, though, from both sides. Thedford gets it up top. Tyrone Marshall, he wants into the action. 42-37, believe it or not, one of the biggest leads of the afternoon for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, the crowd's starting to feel a little bit that this momentum's heading in the right direction for the Hilltoppers, and they'd love to see a strong close here to the half.
Jones Jr. up top. They need this one. Off to the left, but a massive offensive rebound. Right into the hands of McIntyre. Too short. Ball on the floor once again. Hayek wants it. Rolls it out to half court, and the Panthers keep the possession.
Those are the kind of possessions I think Hank Plona will mention quite a bit in his halftime speech, is right now the Panthers are making all those plays.
Hayek gets the friendly touch. How impressive has he been this afternoon?
Well,
my goodness.
He's so steady, does a lot of different things offensively, able to finish off a post move, off the pick and roll, and soft touch on the floater there.
Oh, a massive block from Jones Jr. Oh, that is insane. He has been everywhere this afternoon. We have to go to break. 42-37, WKU up on KWC. Edward Jones Jr., he already caught a lob early on in this game that was really impressive, but this block was even better, arguably. I don't know, they were pretty close.
Yeah, he's making his impact on both ends of the floor.
foul is on the Hilltoppers, number 13, Julius Spencer, his first, team second of the half. Into the game for the Hilltoppers, number 3, Jalen Jackson, and number 21, Leroy Odiaki. Into the game for the Panthers, number 1, Alex Gray. With the U.S. Bank shot. The foul is on the Hilltoppers, number 13, Julius Spencer, his second, team's third of the half.
To 41, Kentucky Wesleyan. We apologize about the technical difficulties. We understand you guys couldn't hear us, so we apologize about that. But still a phenomenal game between these two programs. 3 from the left side is no good. And how about the fight inside by the Panthers?
Well, Hayek again with another play, just been huge on this end of the floor all night, and the Panthers looking to close this half with a big bucket.
Walk, Hayek got happy there before making the move to the basket.
Tried to shot fake and go by ODI on the closeout and just got a little bit too happy with the feet.
Well, this minute is really important for Kentucky Wesleyan trying to stay in this game. You let Western Kentucky hit a 3 here and just kind of go on a run, then all the momentum that you've built for what feels like the 19 minutes of this first half will go away. Jackson. Floater too strong, and it's rebounded by Kentucky Wesleyan. Quentin Toll slows it down, and it looks like the Panthers are holding for just one shot that they will have.
Watch for a backdoor on this play. Kentucky Wesleyan really out, pressuring the ball a little bit. You've got a chance maybe to get them overplaying.
7 to shoot. Up top, spin move. 3 seconds, pull up, rebounded by Marshall Jr. 15 seconds in the first half. Western Kentucky up by 5. 6 seconds, Jackson. Up top, Colombe, off to the left. Beautiful box out, and actually a foul is called on Quentin Tolles with 0.4 seconds remaining. Now, thankfully for the Panthers, Western Kentucky is not in the bonus, so no free throws coming up.
Jackson really coming hard to the offensive glass, forced Tolles to commit the foul.
And a block by Jones Jr. So that's how the first half comes to an end. Pretty competitive. Hilltoppers up by 5, 46 to 41. Halftime show coming up when we return. Should be a fun to talk about. Hilltoppers have been playing really well, and the Panthers. We'll take a look at some stats when we return. Like I said, halftime show coming up next. From EA Digital Arena, you're watching Conference USA basketball on ESPN+. And It is finally almost Christmas, and the ESPN Plus crew here just absolutely loves the holidays. Darth Vader on the Christmas sweater. That is awesome. We got a little Mickey Mouse. Everybody representing with the crew this afternoon. Yeah, everybody is sharp. My favorite one's probably the bricks and the fireplace right there in the middle. That is pretty creative. Haven't seen anything like that.
Love it. Appreciate everybody's hard work to make today's game possible, bringing West Kentucky basketball to the fans everywhere.
Yeah, it has been a great broadcast this afternoon. WKU up 46-41 on Kentucky Wesleyan, and Kentucky Wesleyan, their center Hayek has been really good this afternoon. Pick and roll inside the paint, he's been doing it all.
Well, with Babacar Faye on the bench, that's the best front court player for West Kentucky, and he's his rim protection and strong rebounding are not a factor, and so far Hayek has a little bit of a size advantage down there on a couple of the Hilltoppers that have defended him, and he's gone to work.
And then for the Hilltoppers, it's been about the three ball. They've got it from a lot of really key players. Don McHenry has been good. Julius Thedford with three balls in the first half. Braxton Bayless caught fire, and even Tyrone Marshall is 1 for 3 from downtown. But the scores have come to play this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been like a three-guard attack for West Kentucky, and to be expected with Faye on the bench and without his post presence. So good to see those guards stepping up, and look for them to start this fast break and get going a little bit offensively here in the second half as well.
What do you think Kentucky Wesleyan did on Don McHenry to have him kind of go quiet towards the end of that first half? Because, when we started the game, he was really aggressive. He was getting inside with a floater. He even pulled up for 3 on the transition that he got fouled in, but it just seemed like as the game went along, we stopped saying his name a lot, and that really doesn't happen with McHenry.
Well, when you talk about stopping Don McHenry, the first thing you got to do is sprint back and transition defense, and Kentucky Wesleyan has done a nice job of that. You want to cover the paint first, then you find the ball handler and slow him down before he crosses half court, and then it allows you to get matched up in your half court defense. They've been able to do that because they have been scoring at such a high clip. Their shooting percentages are high. It's easier to get back on defense off a made basket than a miss.
And it definitely has to be frustrating for both sides that Kentucky Wesleyan was able to slow down the Hilltoppers' leading scorer, but you still get phenomenal performances from a lot of other guys on the roster. And then you can say that for the WKU defense with McIntyre, there were other guys that really played solid in the first half. Ready to begin the second from EA Diddle Arena. A phenomenal game as we are, like we said, getting ever so closer to Christmas. Panthers trying to get an early present. Jones Jr. at the elbow, swishes it, and a great start for Kentucky Wesleyan.
Yeah, it's what you want on your first possession. Just really good execution and patience, and Jones able to elevate for the pull-up jump shot.
Quickly a turnover for the Hilltoppers, and for Kentucky Wesleyan, it just seems like if they play with that same pace and fire in the first half, they will be right in this game when we get to the final 10 minutes.
West Kentucky would like to speed them up a little bit. So far have not been able to.
Near side to Quentin Tolles, a very crafty point guard. Hayek swings it around far side. Jones Jr. has shown off his athleticism all day. Hayek, spin move, kicks it out. 7 on the shot clock. Really tough from behind the free throw line, unable to get it to fall. That was Kennedy Miles. Here's McHenry, smooth as silk, inside the lane, hangs, unable to finish, and Hayek pulls it in. Here comes McIntyre, crossover, and he's denied. It was the freshman Thedford. And not a good sign for the Panthers. McIntyre usually able to get over his defenders with that mid-range jumper. That time on Thedford.
He could not shake Thedford on this possession, and Thedford does a great job. A lot of players leave the floor right there and go for the shot fake. He was disciplined, stayed down in his stance, and able to contest.
Marshall trying to power his way inside with the right hand. How about the creativity from Tyrone Marshall? He spun like he was going to finish with the left, but ends up going up with the right.
Yeah, it looked like a call play to get him in that high post area with the drive opportunity, and big time spin for the finish.
Tyrone Marshall now up to 5 points in the game. Tolles inside to Hayek, gets batted away. Kalambe, 3-on-2 fast break. The lob for Marshall, and he had a man right in front of him. Dangerous fall right underneath the basket, but he's quickly able to shake it off. Oh man, that would have been an incredible jam, but he had somebody in front of him and wasn't able to finish, but he is going to the free throw line.
Well, he's fortunate right here. He could have really hurt himself as high as he was. Always a threat to run the floor and fill the lane for that type of finish is Tyrone Marshall. Great energy and almost put a highlight together on that possession.
Yeah, trying to turn this broadcast into the X Games if he was able to jump over McIntyre. But a really nice effort by Marshall Jr. He's had a great start to the second half as he goes 2 for 2 at the line. 50-43, Western Kentucky trying to gain some momentum before their big matchup, the final one of non-conference. They go all the way up to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan right now a top 25 team in the nation, so it will be one of the biggest games of the year for Western Kentucky. Kennedy Miles, the pull-up, rolls it in. Kentucky Wesleyan, their mid-range jumpers too have looked really pure.
Just take what the defense gives you, and that time Miles able to elevate before the help defense arrives. Wow, look at Thetford with a strong finish.
Yeah, he is a beast inside. He's been a beast all game. Back to a 7-point lead. Hayek. Thought he had a cutter inside. Now the handoff. Quentin Tolles. Back to Hayek. All by himself. Bayless is there for the help. Here comes the double team. Kicks it out, top of the key. Splashes it in. Quentin Tolles knocks down the tray ball.
Tolles was in the exact right spot and waited till the double team came into the post and was the beneficiary of a nice pass out by Hayek.
And Braxton Bayless able to answer back. That is just a gut punch for Kentucky Wesleyan when you bring it within 4 and then within what feels like 2 seconds, Braxton Bayless just pulls up immediately early in the shot clock.
Yeah, trading baskets right now, not good enough for Kentucky Wesleyan. They need a couple stops on the defensive end.
In the corner, another 3 try and another one. This time, Kennedy Miles. And here's when they need that stop. The offense has been pretty much perfect. Pick and roll. Columbia's double teams. Good ball movement by the Hilltoppers. 15 seconds to shoot. McHenry, the pull-up. In and out. Ball on the floor. McHenry ends up with it. And a foul on McIntyre again.
You just got to limit them to one shot right there. The big-time stop, but not able to secure the defensive rebound and force the foul McHenry. That's the kind of play they needed right there. A stop after a make and kind of keep clawing into this lead.
Jack Edelin and Jalen Jackson, 2 guards, are now on the floor for Western Kentucky. Leroy Odiaye is also in there. Had a couple of really nice finishes, had a dunk and a floater in the first half. Let's see if Hank Plona goes back to him here early in the second. Tyrone Marshall, too short on the 3. Big offensive possession now for the Panthers, just down by 4. Dangerous bounce pass into the hands. Ringo Jr. the handoff to Tolles. Back to Ringo Jr. Great defense inside, but too crafty. Terrence Ringo Jr. makes it a 1-possession game.
Good patience there by Ringo. A couple shot fakes and pivots and a nice reverse finish.
Oh, how about the sauce from Tyrone Marshall Jr.
Really scooped him with the right hand.
That just is devastating for the Panthers. Tyrone Marshall Jr. was very quiet in the first half, and now he's been the go-to scorer, and everything's just falling for him.
His energy's contagious. Plays so hard.
And he's a big that can shoot it from the outside. Really impressive. Thetford. It's Saturday, but the bank is open on the weekend.
I got that strong right shoulder into the defender to create the space.
The Hilltoppers have been pretty much perfect shooting in the second half. Just under 15 minutes remaining. How about Ringo Jr.? He was feeling it, unable to get it to fall, and a foul on Kentucky Wesleyan as Marshall Jr. was going for the rebound. We'll take our first break. Hilltoppers still with a pretty comfortable lead over the Panthers, 59-53. We'll be right back from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Let's give a big red happy birthday to Dan.
59-53, Hilltoppers over the Panthers. 5 minutes in to the second half. Tyron Marshall Jr. has been a man on a mission in this second half for WKU.
He's making plays on both ends, show the ability to step out and hit the straightaway three. There's the design play right there to get him a drive to the basket and a spin move finish in the paint. And the scoop again, so showing you a lot of different ways that he can make an impact. And the crowd loves him because he plays so hard and brings that energy. Whenever he makes plays, they really, really get into it. And they've been on the verge here these last few minutes of wanting to really become a factor in this game and see if Marshall can keep them on their feet.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to have that. There's been some nice runs for WKU, but it's not like we haven't seen that big 12-0 or 14-0 run that just really gets them away from the Panthers. But it's because Kentucky Wesleyan has, for the most part, been able to answer back on the right side of the floor.
Yeah, they've been on the verge a couple of times of going on a run, and like you said, this veteran Panther team able to come back with a quality possession on the other end of the floor. So they're not going anywhere.
And it's a massive challenge, not only just playing Western Kentucky, as Quentin Tolles skied one all the way to the rooftop and it hit the bottom of the net.
An incredibly high degree of difficulty on that last shot.
Not able to get enough on it on the three try from Marshall Jr. But it's a challenge because you talk about experience. This Hilltoppers team is one of the most experienced teams in not just Conference USA, but all of college basketball. One of the top two teams that has most experience in the country.
Exactly right, and it just shows you that there are great players, coaches, on all levels of college basketball. On any given night, anyone can beat you.
Ringo Jr. unable to get it to fall from the mid-range. Here's Tedford, pick and roll, is swatted away. Western Kentucky gets it back. Jackson up top to Edelin, back to Tedford. Triple threat, three ball, too strong. Rebounded by Kavion Mitchell. Here he comes down the right sideline. Panthers trying to get it back to a one-possession game. McIntyre ready to check in. Three ball, high off the back iron, and it's pulled in by the freshman. Thedford, full head of steam, crossover. Batted away, it's Ringo Jr. And now Western Kentucky has a strip steal. Jackson slows it down. Motions to the free throw line. Now calling out the play, they slow it down. 15 on the shot clock. 12.5 minutes remaining from EA Diddle Arena. Marshall Jr. wants Ringo all by himself. The spin move off the glass and in. That is unguardable.
Well, the same exact play they ran just a little while ago where he finished with a spin move. That time went back to the baseline off the glass. But, yeah, Coach Plona knows that that's a great opportunity to get Tyrone in that high post area with the space to drive and see if they keep going to that well again.
And Alex Gray shaken up after that play. Both teams head to their respective benches, and the referees are over by the table.
Yeah, I think he may have taken a shot to the face, and anytime that happens, they're going to go to the monitor to make sure that nothing malicious was intended.
Well, let's take a break. We'll have the call when we return. 61-55, just over 12 minutes remaining between the Hilltoppers and the Panthers. So the referees went over to the monitor, and it was ruled just a common foul on Odiaye. As you see at the very bottom left of your screen was getting physical with Alex Gray, but it was ruled a common foul. They were looking just in case there wasn't anything extra there on Odiaye. Great back cut from McIntyre, but his pass is taken away by the Hilltoppers. McHenry, crossover at the top of the key, hesitation move, finger roll, in and out. Still Hilltoppers basketball.
Yeah, he's just a hard guy to keep in front. Plays with a great change of pace off the dribble and just able to get in the paint almost at will. Not get the finish that time, but that's a great spot for him.
And how about the extension too? I mean, he jumped a good ways to get to the basket, and his hand was right there at the front of the rim. McHenry again, thought about the step back three, offers it up to Jackson. 9 to shoot. Jackson, a nice dump off, but Odiaye wasn't ready for it. Quentin Tolles on the far side. Moves to the baseline. Lost it out of bounds. Just can't have those turnovers, which, you know, for Kentucky Wesleyan, that hasn't been a major issue today, is coughing up the basketball as Hayek is now back in.
The ones that frustrate you as a coach are the ones that are unforced. And that one right there just looks like Knight dribbled right off his foot out of bounds.
Hilltoppers trying to stay a major force here at EA Diddle Arena. A win this afternoon will move them to 9-1 at home, and that is a big-time three in the corner from Jack Edelin.
Panthers go to the zone, and Hilltoppers overload the side, and Edelin with the look in the corner.
Mitchell picks up his dribble. Now McIntyre. They need something from their top scorer. Hayek looking for somebody to come to the basketball. McIntyre has Marshall Jr. all over. Trying to body him up underneath the basket. Bounce pass, intercepted by Jackson. Euro step in the lane, handoff to McHenry, and the finish. Timeout for Kentucky Wesleyan, and this is the largest lead of the afternoon for the Hilltoppers, 66-65, or excuse me, 55, as we're close to the 10-minute mark. We'll be right back from EA Diddle Arena. Kentucky is on one of their best runs of the entire game now, an 11-point lead over Kentucky Wesleyan, and a lot of it had to do with this turnover and conversion into a basket.
Well, the Hilltoppers are great in transition, and a lot of times those opportunities come off turnovers. So McIntyre gets bottled up underneath the basket, nowhere to go. Jackson with the push, McHenry with the finish. That's how they want to do it.
And that was a really nice feed by Jackson. But Kentucky Wesleyan, we just got done talking about it. Turnovers really haven't been a huge issue, but the last couple of possessions, they've been all over the place.
Oh, and there's another one right out of the timeout.
McHenry almost got the and one, but he's headed to the free throw line. And that might have been the perfect time for the Hilltoppers to really create some pressure with a full court press after Kentucky Wesleyan is trying to figure it out on the offensive side.
Yeah, a little shaky ball handling there by the Panthers, and I would expect the Hilltoppers will stay in that press until Kentucky Wesleyan can show we can handle it a little bit better.
Don McHenry, 5 20-point games this season. 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Also for McHenry, he's averaging 1.9 steals per game this year, which is 4th in Conference USA. That just says a lot when arguably your best player is doing a lot of things really good on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's got great quick hands defensively, and he knows that if he's able to poke the ball away or get a deflection, a lot of times that leads to easy baskets. So he's always playing hard on the perimeter looking for those chances.
Finish at the other end by Kennedy Miles. Let's see if that'll stop the bleeding a little bit for the Panthers. Under 10 minutes remaining in regulation. 10-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Don McHenry's feeling it from 3. Rolls in and out and rebounded by Miles. It feels like the Panthers have to have a basket here.
A little bit of a drought, so you want to work, get a quality shot every time down the floor.
Jones Jr. taken away by McHenry. One-on-one with Craig. Goes into the body, hangs and finishes with the left hand.
There's those quick hands we just got through talking about, and McHenry's kind of like a shark right now. Smell a little blood in the water, and here come the Hilltoppers looking to ratchet up the pressure.
Kentucky Wesleyan slows it down in the corner. Now a 12-point lead for WKU. Gray at the free throw line has the size mismatch and almost a terrific pass, but it was tipped out of bounds by Jackson, which, yes, Kentucky Wesleyan still has the basketball, but that saves 2 points.
Yeah, McIntyre had the step on Jackson on the backdoor cut, just not able to get the pass through traffic.
Jones Jr., he likes the mismatch. Up top to Gray, they swing it around. KY Mitchell, not able to finish it, rolls out of bounds, and the Hilltoppers have it. Those threes that Kentucky Wesleyan are missing here in the second half, those were falling for the majority of the time in the first half, especially from KY Mitchell.
Yeah, that would have been a big shot right there. They needed to see a field goal go in and forced to make another tough stop defensively.
Tyrone Marshall just pretty much shoved the defender and unable to get away with it.
Yeah, he got the shoulder a little bit too aggressive there. I think if he just stops on the dime and elevates right here instead of trying to get all the way to the basket up, and you see the left arm there, just easy call for the ref when you extend like that.
McIntyre stops on a dime. Swings it around to Tolles, and he resets the offense. Time is not on the side right now with the Panthers as we are approaching the final 8 minutes. They're going to have to get hot quick. Gray to a cutter, left-handed finish, Quentin Tolles.
That's how the backdoor cut was open, and the pass was better for the layup.
Well, that's a couple of possessions in a row where that back cutter has been able to get an easy basket of the cup, maybe exploiting something that the Hilltoppers are doing on defense right now.
Yeah, they're trying to get out in passing lanes as they know they've got a chance to blow this lead open a little bit if they can get some easy transition buckets.
Tolles pulls up a long two. That was so pretty from Quentin Tolles, and Hank Plona wants a timeout. Panthers are trying to make a run in these final 8 minutes. They've cut the deficit down to 8. Let's see if they can make a push when we return. 69-61, Hilltoppers over the Panthers. Starting to get down to the end here at EA Diddle Arena. 69-61, the Hilltoppers over the Panthers. Now, WKU has been on a nice run in the middle part of this second half, but Kentucky Wesleyan is still fighting. They're still in this game.
They're right where they need to be, but they need to have consecutive stops on the defensive end of the floor. Well, let's see what Coach Plona draws up out of the timeout.
It'll be a while. This is the last home game for really almost 3 weeks for the Hilltoppers. They get into conference play, but their first home conference play will not be until January 9th. So trying to finish off 2024 home games in a good way. Alex Gray, unable to complete the three at the top of the key, had a really nice look. Thedford on the right side, bullies his way inside, he goes down hard.
Thedford not scared to force the issue in transition, not bashful at all. Really aggressive drive, it took the hard fall. You can tell where he landed, right on his lower back maybe.
Man, he's on that right elbow too, but able to shake it off. It just, you have to think, and you definitely know, Jay, just going up, fast break layup, and you get so high up and you get fouled, and you just have no control over your body when you're mid-flight. It's not a fun feeling.
It's a scary ride on the way down. The floor is definitely hard for sure. Good to see Thedford able to stay in the game here. That's one of those deals right there. The adrenaline gets him through tonight. He's really gonna hurt tomorrow, but has the benefit of a few days off, a little Christmas break before the next game. So he's young. He can recover.
There was a game I was watching the other night. It was a Sacramento Kings game, and Domantas Sabonis had a play very similar to that. It just really knocked the wind out of him, but that's what you usually see on those hard falls to the floor, and Thedford is able to really just shake it off. He immediately is taken out of the game after knocking down two, but some pretty nice effort from the freshman, a lot of toughness there. Back to a 10-point lead for the Hilltoppers. All the way down the court to Jones Jr. Bounce past the free throw line. They needed that one, unable to get it. Braxton Bayless up ahead. Hands it off to McHenry. Good look at the three. It was actually touched up by McIntyre. Initially, it was ruled Kentucky Wesleyan basketball, but a great job of the referee crew to come in and notice that McIntyre got a piece of it.
Yeah, good contest, and I think a little early on the shot attempt by Don McHenry.
Braxton Bayless, he has been a silent assassin this afternoon. We've been talking about McHenry, even Thedford, which rightfully so. Those are the two big names this season for the Hilltoppers, but Braxton Bayless has looked really good with the shot. Jones Jr. unable to get away from Colombi. Up top, Tolles, pump fake. Now 10 on the shot clock. Eyes up, in the corner. Jones Jr. off to the right. Marshall Jr. pulls it in. He had an amazing start to this second half. Don McHenry all by himself. Can't get the friendly roll. Pulled in by Quentin Tolles. 6 minutes remaining now. Miles in the lane, rolls it in. A beautiful spinner there by Kennedy Miles.
That was a really tough finish there in traffic by Miles. And Panthers not quite going away yet.
You think Kentucky Wesleyan needs to start kind of chucking it up from three a little bit, seeing if they can get some good looks to get back into this one?
Certainly getting about that time. You don't have to take a three every possession, but you certainly take the good ones as soon as they come.
Don McHenry puts it in. 13-point lead. It's kind of tough to get back into this game when Don McHenry's on the other side and his ability to score. Alex Gray now. Halfway in and out. How did that basketball not go in?
That's two really good looks for Gray that you could tell his reaction. He knows he should have made. Just not quite able to knock it down.
Well, now if you're Kentucky Wesleyan, you're starting to get into that territory of this game really getting away from you.
Yeah,
13
you're in the danger
points.
zone. Yeah.
If WKU comes down and hits a three here, you're in a really bad spot. We could potentially, still time left in this game, but see a dagger three. McHenry, near side to Marshall Jr. And WKU is also letting the shot clock go down. Oh, the crossover. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my goodness! Don McHenry with the juice.
Crowd really appreciates that. What a play by McHenry, a little sauce. Woo! Wow, let's take a look at that again. Puts the skates on the defender, step back, and the foul.
That is one of the moves of the year. And that pretty much feels like the dagger, Jay, with that move, unable to finish the 4-point play. 79-63. This place is still buzzing, but McIntyre hushes it a little bit. McHenry's feeling it. Another crossover with the left hand. He cannot be stopped. Don McHenry.
Yeah, like I mentioned the other night when I was here for the game versus Seattle, Don McHenry went on a 12-0 run, and in that run he scored in transition, off the three, mid-range jumper, so he can do it all, and he can do it all in bunches.
Kennedy Miles right there for the putback on the offensive rebound. 81-68. Well, how do you feel like Western Kentucky going into that matchup against Michigan? Next time that we'll see them on the floor, how do you feel like this has prepared them for that matchup, or has them feeling going into that game?
Well, I think they're right where they want to be in terms of preparation. Hopefully we'll be able to get a couple guys back with a few days rest leading up to that game, and Babacar Faye and Christian Lander. That certainly gives them a deeper bench and a much better shot, but it's a great opportunity for them to go on the road and show the nation what you're about.
Good looking shot from Quentin Tolles. Subs about to come into this game for both sides. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Get the feeling the starters are about to be taken out for Western Kentucky. Bayless, Colombe, thought about a three. Back to Bayless. Odiaye wanted the mismatch inside. Bayless, quick trigger. Rebounded by Marshall Jr. Kisses it off the glass. Yeah. Timeout, Kentucky Wesleyan.
Demoralizing possession for the Panthers to make them miss and then not being able to secure the rebound. And Tyrone Marshall with the hustle, as we've seen plenty times before.
85-71, Hilltoppers in a great spot to move to 9-3. We'll be right back from EA Diddle Arena. Just 3 minutes remaining from EA Diddle Arena, 85-71, the Hilltoppers over the Panthers. And Don McHenry, it has really been the Don McHenry show here down the stretch.
Well, we know he can get hot, and we know what kind of burst he can put on. And, you know, he's shown over the last several minutes why he's one of the most feared guards in this league, scoring at all three levels.
Yeah, the crossover, we're still trying to get over that one. That was one of the best moves that we will see across college basketball for the entire afternoon, as a plethora of subs have come in for both Kentucky Wesleyan and Western Kentucky. Well, for the Panthers, they have really put up a bad turnover right out of the timeout, but Kentucky Wesleyan has put up a really nice fight. You know, if you have joined us for the entire broadcast, in that first half, we were talking about how they seriously will have a chance to pull off this upset, but Western Kentucky just a little bit too much for them, as we see here when it gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Well, it's easy to see why they're on an 8-game winning streak and have a chance to really make some noise on the D2 level.
Don McHenry is unconscious, 88-71. McHenry now up to 26 points in the game. So over his last 3 games, make that now, in each one of them, over 25 points. 29 against Murray State, 28 against Seattle, and now 26 here against the Panthers. Good ball movement by Kentucky Wesleyan, too short on the 3 try. Colombe slows it down, back to McHenry. It's all about number 2. He's got Hayek on him, the mismatch. Pulls up again, puts it in. 29 for Don McHenry.
Yeah, good job recognizing the mismatch and just waving everyone off.
This is insane what he has been able to do. When it gets to conference play, it is a lot of fun. You have to imagine for Hank Plona to have somebody like that on your team.
Great guards make the world go round. So you're certainly right. Hank Plona sleeps good at night knowing that Don McHenry's his point guard.
Well, that is just, and Kentucky Wesleyan was not aware of the shot clock on that possession. The Hilltoppers have very strong guards, and Braxton Bayless and Don McHenry, and now you really can throw in Julius Stedford being in that conversation. But Bayless and McHenry are experienced. Bayless, the graduate, Don McHenry, the senior, and this is a team that has a legitimate shot of going back to the NCAA tournament. It would be the first time in program history of going back-to-back. You have to go all the way back to 2012 and 2013, but you know, last year's team, it wasn't like they were just, you know, they tore through the regular season. They were kind of middle of the pack in Conference USA, and then Steve Lutz, who is so good at getting his team hot at the right time, they were able to do that. And even in that first half against Marquette, they played really well in the first round, and then Marquette turned into what they were last year, one of the best teams in the nation.
It's get played well at the right times and really gained valuable experience. This season, when the postseason rolls around, they have been through that before.
Officially a minute remaining, so Western Kentucky is going to move to 9-3 and continue this fantastic winning streak up to 6 games. Kentucky Wesleyan will fall to 8-3, but this is a team that is going to be a force to be reckoned with at the Division II level.
Yeah, great test for them to come in here today and compete hard and show what their program is all about. And when March rolls around, you'll be talking about both of these teams, I believe.
Next matchup for Western Kentucky. They head north to play the Michigan Wolverines. And the way that they have been playing, it could be a phenomenal matchup. Oh, from the logo, off to the left.
Crowd really wants it.
And Olden really wanted that one.
He wants to give it to him. Yeah, he had the crowd on their feet in anticipation. Maybe slightly too far out, I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
I wonder if this is what I want to know. I want to know if he's got a NIL deal with IGA, something. If he shoots it from our logo during the game and makes it, he gets free groceries for. I don't know, but that would be a good promotion.
That is remarkable marketing, if so. But you know what? We're not seeing him every day in practice. Maybe that's a shot that he is hitting consistently from the IGA logo. Maybe that's his nickname,
he
Mr.
works
IGA.
hard every day in practice, like you said, and it's great to see him get an opportunity to get on the floor for the crowd at the very end of this game tonight. Great win for the Hilltoppers.
WKU moves to 9-3, 91-71 victory at EA Diddle Arena, the final home game for 2024. It was close for the majority of the time spent here at EA Diddle Arena, but Don McHenry happened in those final 10 minutes, and he is without a doubt the player of the game this afternoon.
It didn't feel like a 20-point game, did it?
No, no, it did not.
Like you said, Wesleyan came in here, battled, and was very game today. And Don McHenry did Don McHenry things midway through the second half and stretched that lead out a little bit and was able to. He's a great closer, you know. And it's awesome to have that. If you're Hank Plona, that's a great feeling leading into this big game at Michigan.
Final stats for the Hilltoppers, and you know, Don McHenry, that is now 3 straight games with more than 25 points, as he was able to have 29 this afternoon. 18 points for Braxton Bayless, 17 for Julius Stedford, 13 from Tyrone Marshall Jr. And what is really interesting about all those guys is it felt like there would be a stretch of, you know, a couple of minutes where each one of them really took over the game.
Yeah, they all had their moments. And that's going to be like that for this team down the stretch. I don't, you know, obviously you got a couple guys that you know are going to give you great production every night, but there's several guys that have the chance to step up, and you know, on any given night you got a lot of weapons.
Well, that is going to do it from EA Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Jay, it was a pleasure getting to pick your mind today, and it was a pleasure working with you.
It's great to be with you. Hope you guys, everyone out there has a great break, and a lot more great hoops to come this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for myself, Matthew Hargrove, our great ESPN Plus crew, and my partner, Jay Walton, Western Kentucky 91-71 over the Panthers. All games are airing and stored on ESPN and on the ESPN app. This has been another great presentation of NCAA basketball on ESPN Plus. Merry Christmas, everyone.